Boy, all right, y'all. We are back at it again. This is your hostess and your melanated queen. Brown girls are beautiful. Told you I'm focusing more on the channel heavily, or my multiple channels actually. You already know why I have to have multiple channels at this point. If you've been following me for the last couple of years, then you already know I've been extremely busy. Haven't been able to post as much because I've been extremely tired. Behind the scenes, working with children, tutoring, and substitute teaching and everything like that. So I haven't really been focused on posting as much because I've been so tired amongst doing other things. Okay, still a realtor, still have Brown Girls Are Beautiful, still printing for other people, and still have my clothing brand, also a licensed notary. So I believe in having multiple streams of income. With that being said, I just want to get into it, y'all. This video is probably going to be a little bit all over the place, but I don't care. So if you want to tune in, listen. And if you don't, then you don't have to. But what I want to talk about is, I think I am just turned off, y'all, by I'm turned off by melanated females at this point, which is why you don't really see me a lot flocking around a bunch of females. Never have, probably never will. I am grateful and blessed and lucky enough to have a sister. That's something that I asked for when I was younger. I probably was like 3 years old. Didn't want to be by myself. Wanted someone to have around, someone to play with, which is probably normal for a lot of only, children if you're the only child. I can remember briefly being the only child, but we're 3 years apart. So I have another younger sister, y'all. But other than that, I don't really deal with females, and the reason why is because from my experience, I'm going to take this off, they just try to sabotage so much of what you do. And then on top of it, if they're not sabotaging what you're doing, they're talking about you behind your back. They're criticizing you. They're fake. They're phony. And I'm just over all of the antics of what comes with them. And usually it's melanated women. A lot of times it's the people that's like around your same age, but it can be people younger than you. I did have an experience with a Caucasian female that was 22 years old, and her situation was just her insecurities in dealing with children, and the fact that I just can come into a classroom setting, fall right into place, and know how to handle the children, and the children received me very well, very receptive. She at the time was still going through her student study program or whatever, so she needed to be supervised, so she shouldn't have not have been alone in the classroom setting with children all day. So that's why I had to be there, but that's a whole nother other separate topic. I'll tell y'all about that later. But as far as melanated females, y'all, I can tell you this is the same school that I'm talking about once again, because I go from different schools, but this particular school, we had a field trip, and the children, they didn't have enough buses for the field trip, so we had to sit 3 to a seat. As you can see, I'm extremely petite, almost the same size as one of the children, if you ask me, because a lot of times they look at me and think I'm one of the children. However, I'm not. So we sat 3 to a seat. There were 2 young ladies that sat beside me, 2 little melanated females, and they were friends. They were talking. So on the ride back from the trip, we went to go see the Cinderella ballerina. On the way back from the trip, it was my assumption that we would all sit to the same seating that we were sitting at first. So they said, okay, all boys in one section, girls in another section. So the 2 girls ended up getting split up, and they had a boy sitting with us. And I know that they wanted to talk and converse because they had been speaking to one another on the way there. So I told the girl, I said, you go ahead, you can switch with him, you can sit right here if you want. One of the teachers spoke up and was like, why did you sit there? Who told you to sit there? She was like, well, she told me. She pointed at her. She was like, well, she told me to sit there. And so I spoke up. I said, well, actually, I told her, that she could sit there or whatever. She looked at me and she looked at that child. She said, no, you do what I tell you to do. And it was so vicious the way she said it. So that whole entire trip, on the way back to the school, I was texting my colleague, letting her know what was going on. And I was talking to one of the girls, and I told her, I said, you know what? I said, some people are just unhappy with themselves. And, some people are just very ugly. And, I just kept a very low profile, very calm demeanor on the way back. Once we finally got back to the school, I was on my way back out of the classroom, walking down the hallway, when that same teacher approached me in the hallway, and she said, I just want to apologize for my outburst earlier. So I grabbed her arm. I told her, I said it was, no harm. I said, it's all good. I was like, the only reason I asked the girl to sit there is because they had been sitting together on the ride to the field trip. And I felt like they wanted to sit together again. I didn't think it was any harm, honestly. So, she said, again, I just want to apologize for my outburst. Even while we were there, when the children were getting their seats at the ballerina. Now keep into mind what type of crowd the ballerina draws. Okay, this is a ballet, so you have to have a certain amount of decorum when you go into these places. All right, I don't know what was going on, but the teachers seemed like they had some type of infighting going on, and they said, I don't know what's going on with her over there, but she don't want that tendency to come out of me. Now, these were melanated females. One of the women was late getting back onto the bus before we got to the school because she didn't want to listen to the other teachers. They were trying to tell her to follow us. So we all made it back to the bus on time. She did not. She went out the back way, and we had to wait on her and her whole entire class. And the teacher just kept saying, oh, because she don't ever want to listen to anyone. She never wants to listen to anyone. She wants to do her own thing. So it's just like all this little catty drama, all this little high school stuff that still goes on at schools, even when you're dealing with children. I have one of my colleagues. She actually works at a school, and she has been going through it too. Let's not even get into like the principals that work at the schools that have a very nasty demeanor, and a lot of them are older women, and for some reason they seem to have a chip on their shoulder. I feel like it's their title. Now, if you don't know, principals get paid very handsomely. They receive a very good salary, but they let their authority go to their head, and a lot of them are not fit to be principals. I believe that they have gotten into the role and their position by way of lying their way to the top, and probably because of someone that they may know. But it's certainly not because they're qualified to be a principal, because you need to have people skills working with children and staff, in my personal opinion. So one day I was substituting at this school, and we were walking down the hall. The Caucasian lady was introducing me to the staff members there. So when we walked, up to the principal or whatever, it was her and the assistant principal. They both introduced themselves. Now, the assistant principal was fine, and then the principal, she had like this nasty chip on her shoulder, and I forgot her name, but just let's say her name was Miss Johnson. So she was like, I'm Miss Johnson, I'm the principal. But it was the way she said it. It was so nasty that you could feel the viciousness and spite coming from her tone and her demeanor. Now, I'm trying to understand, where did this come from, because I had not done anything to them. This was the first time of me arriving to the school, other than the fact that I remembered I had gone to the front office, and I believe I was asking them a question, and their response to me wasn't the most professional. And maybe, it was that encounter. Maybe that's why she acted that way. But needless to say, what I'm trying to get at is you never can guess with these females out here, especially if you're dealing with a melanated female. You will never know what their issue is with you. So I just have to say this. I don't even know how men deal with these nasty attitudes, these nasty entitled females that come around with all of this bold attitude. I don't know how males and men deal with this nonsense. I remember when we first moved, to I'm just going to say it, to Richmond, Virginia. I will never, ever, ever, ever move there again. Those people have such nasty attitudes. I remember when we first got there, I would see the females walking around like just in public, and they had some of the most nastiest looking demeanors on their faces, looking like they had attitudes for no reason. And I would look at them, and we were like, what's wrong with them? They look like they're mad at the world. You can't give them a compliment. If you try to give them a compliment, they'll look at you like you're crazy. That has happened to me several times. I stopped doing it. And then on top of it, if you speak to them, they'll act like they don't hear you. They don't want to speak to you. It's just all types of stupid stuff. It's very dumb, and like, I don't understand it. And this is why I am kind of like over the melanated community. I'm over dealing with melanated females. For a long time, I would not even associate with melanated females because of my experience with them. And if you've been following my channels, you already know why. It's just hatred, it's jealousy, it's envy, it's ignorance. They are full of themselves. They think they're right. They're loud and wrong. A lot of them have a very ghetto tone, ghetto demeanor. If you speak with some type of intelligence, they want to, make it seem like you're an outcast for whatever reason. They only feel like you can have something as if you're of another ethnic background. If you share the same race as them, the same ethnic background, they feel like you're not supposed to have anything more than what they have. Everything for them is a competition. If you're doing something and they're jealous of it, they will sabotage it if they find out about it. I've lost a few positions, with great lucrative opportunities for myself, only because of jealousy with melanated females. And so it'll never stop, especially in the workplace. It's never going to stop. You're going to deal with that, and then you're going to deal with the Caucasians that are going to sabotage you as well, and they will antagonize melanated females, especially when you are of a high caliber. And sometimes it's because of your demeanor, it's because of your education, it's because you don't acquiesce to the low vibrational energy that a lot of the other people have, and so they will come at you because of that. If you're well spoken, if you articulate yourself well, they think that you think that you're a bit more than what you should be. And I'm talking about melanated people. Caucasian people. So you never can win, in this, I guess this is called the American society. You can't win here being a melanated person. The only people that really benefit here is if you consider yourself a foreigner. If you come from another country, then you are given all the benefits, you are given all the opportunity, and nobody sees you as a threat. People will help you, and you don't have to worry about the nonsense that goes on within the society. So y'all, this is why I say I'm over it. I'm really, I've been considering this for a couple of years now, changing the name of my brand. Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I believe in it, but I just don't feel that melanated people believe in that. They don't believe in setting the example that you want to see. They believe in being ghetto, and they don't really care. So don't be surprised if you see me change the name of my channel, the name of my brand, because even though I carry a positive energy with everything that I exude and the things that I do, and my aura is totally different, people don't appreciate that. If anything, you're seen as a threat, and they don't like it. Y'all, this is basically my little rant from melanated females, from Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm signing out, and y'all please continue to walk in your divinity. Don't let this, what I'm saying, be a hindrance to what you're trying to do. But for me, this is just, what I've been through over the years, and it's not going to change. These people want to be ignorant. They want to be on the level that they are, and there's no changing what's going on out here in society. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, you all stay blessed.